Galactic Council deceived humanity. We delivered Reckoning HFY. Huge ships appeared in the orbit of Mars. They were tall, sleek, and shining in colors Earthlings had never seen. News spread quickly. The world watched the sky with fear and awe. Governments held emergency meetings. Scientists scrambled to understand the technology. Ordinary people stopped their daily work and looked up at the stars. For the first time in history, humans were not alone. The council called their leaders to a meeting. President Oliver Hayes stood tall in the chamber, trying to show confidence. Beside him, advisors murmured worries and possibilities. The council's message was simple but grand. They offered humanity a seat at the galactic table. They promised trade, peace, protection, and knowledge. Humanity could join other alien civilizations and travel the stars. The offer seemed too good to be true. Ethan Brooks, a diplomat from the United Nations, watched silently. He had studied the council for years. He knew their history and reputation. On the surface, they seemed friendly, but Ethan felt a strange chill. There was something they were not saying. Lisa Morin, a young fleet analyst, agreed silently. She had looked at the council's ships and their fleets. The numbers and movements did not match what they claimed. There were hidden sections in their archives and strange gaps in data. The council's history looked perfect, but she suspected it was carefully edited. Despite doubts, the council's charm was strong. They spoke of unity, peace, and fairness. They held up holograms of thriving alien worlds, colorful cities, and smiling faces. "Join us," they said. "Humanity can be free among the stars, but you must trust us." Leaders on Earth listened carefully. They wanted peace more than power. They wanted to protect their people. Many agreed to the council's proposal. A treaty was drawn. It promised human participation in galactic matters, but it also included limits. Humanity had to reduce its military fleets, stop building certain weapons, and keep colonies under strict council supervision. Earth's leaders were hesitant but eventually signed. The council praised them and promised a bright future. Even as the treaty was signed, some humans were uneasy. Ethan whispered to Lisa during a council briefing. "This feels like a trap," he said. Lisa nodded. "I see it too. Something is hidden." The council is hiding history, events, and data. They want us to be weak and obedient. They could not act openly yet. The council watched every step of humanity carefully. After the signing, humans began deploying ships to council borders as joint patrols. Jack Turner, a Navy commander, led the first missions. He noticed that council officers gave orders that seemed unnecessary. Ships were sent to dangerous regions with little explanation. Human losses rose, but the council appeared unconcerned. When questioned, council members said it was part of galactic cooperation. Humanity needed to learn discipline. Amy Parker, a logistics officer, managed the supply lines for these missions. She noticed council instructions often demanded resources beyond reason. Rare metals, fuel, and parts were sent to alien worlds under the guise of alliance. She realized the council was taking advantage of human labor and wealth. Still, she followed orders, knowing any disobedience could cause trouble. On Earth, ordinary citizens were proud. They thought humans were helping other civilizations and keeping the galaxy safe. They had no idea about the hidden burden. News broadcasts showed happy faces and colorful holograms. The council portrayed humans as heroes, not pawns. The public cheered. They had hope and excitement for the stars. Ethan and Lisa worked in secret to learn more. They requested access to archives and council reports. Some officers laughed at them. "You are too suspicious," one alien said. "Humans trust too little." But Ethan persisted. He found small inconsistencies in council reports. Files disappeared, numbers changed, and events were edited. Lisa discovered that humans had been sent to patrol zones where aliens had already fought wars. These were dangerous missions, not for protection but for labor. Council forces rarely intervened. One night, Ethan and Lisa gathered in a quiet command room. "This is worse than I thought," Ethan said. "They are using us like tools. Every loss, every patrol, every resource is planned to weaken us slowly." Lisa frowned. "If we try to tell Earth leaders, they might not believe us. They see the Council as friends. We need proof." They spent weeks copying reports, mapping Council movements, and recording inconsistencies. The more they learned, the clearer it became. Humans were not joining a family of stars. They were being tamed, controlled, and hidden from the truth. Jack and Amy began noticing patterns in fleet assignments. The Council's routes avoided dangerous regions for themselves, but sent humans into the worst areas. Missions were labeled as training or joint defense, but there was no real benefit for humanity. People died, supplies were lost, and the Council never reported the true costs. Amy quietly kept track of every mission. She started drawing maps of where humans were sent versus Council fleets. The maps told the same story: humans were expendable. Yet, humans still followed orders. There was no rebellion. The Council seemed to believe that humans were obedient, naive, and too proud to question authority. They underestimated human patience. They underestimated human observation. They underestimated human resilience. On Earth, public events continued to celebrate humanity's galactic role. Children played with Council-designed toys and holo games. Scientists studied alien technology sent as gifts. Humans were learning faster than the Council realized, but they did not yet show their full strength. Ethan watched children playing with alien devices and felt a mixture of hope and fear. If the Council misjudged humans, the outcome could be dramatic. Months passed. Humans continued their missions, gathering intelligence without the Council's knowledge. They learned how Council weapons worked, how alien fleets moved, and how resources were controlled. Lisa calculated that if humans were to act, they could disable Council systems without destroying civilian worlds. Jack and Amy coordinated quietly with their teams. They built hidden bases on remote moons, disguised as research stations or mining facilities. Ethan knew the turning point would come. The Council had built a fragile sense of control over humanity, but humans were patient. They waited silently while observing, learning, and preparing. Humans were no longer naive, no longer easily deceived. Their minds, ships, and strategy were sharpening like tools ready for work. One day, during a Council briefing, Ethan noticed an alien diplomat smirking. "Humans are like children," the diplomat said to his colleague. "They have power, but they do not know it. We must guide them." Ethan clenched his fists. He looked at Lisa and whispered, "They think we are weak. They are wrong, very wrong." Lisa nodded, her eyes hard. Humans had begun to understand the Council's deception fully. By the end of the first year of the treaty, humans had proof. Thousands of Council reports, maps, and communications showed the truth. The Council never intended to treat Earth as equal. Humans were pawns, shields, and laborers for alien agendas. The leaders of Earth were still unaware, but the groundwork was ready. Humans had patience, proof, and silent strength. Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy gathered in the quiet moon station. "One day," Ethan said, "we will show them. We will show every race in the galaxy that humanity is not to be fooled." Lisa smiled faintly. "We will deliver truth and they will see what they underestimated." Jack added, "We will not rush. We will not destroy. We will be precise." Amy nodded. "Preparation is everything. We act when the time is right." The first part ends with humans standing quietly among the stars, watching the Council, learning and waiting. The galaxy believed humanity was obedient, small, and naive. Yet the seeds of reckoning were planted. Humans were silent, strong, and ready. The Council did not see it. They could not see it. Humanity had begun its patient journey toward truth and justice among the stars. Ethan Brooks could not stop thinking about the Council's deception. Every day, he pored over records, hidden archives, and communication logs. He discovered secrets that were never meant for human eyes. Some were small, like changes in dates or missing mission reports. Others were larger, like entire fleet movements erased from history. Lisa Morin worked beside him. She had grown quiet but determined. Every discovery made her more certain. The Council had never planned to treat humanity as an equal. On Earth, public celebrations continued. People believed the Council was trustworthy. Schools taught children about galactic cooperation. Scientists studied alien technology with excitement. Newspapers praised humanity's role in peacekeeping missions. Yet beneath the surface, Ethan and Lisa saw a darker truth. The Council had created a facade of friendship, but behind the scenes, humans were being tested, manipulated, and controlled. Jack Turner led patrol fleets to Council borders. He had begun to notice patterns in fleet assignments. Human ships were always sent to the riskiest areas, far from Council reinforcements. Missions were labeled as joint defense, but in reality, humans faced danger alone. Ships were damaged, crews lost, and no Council aid arrived. Jack quietly recorded every detail. He could see the Council was using humanity as a shield. Amy Parker managed the supply lines. She noticed shipments sent to Council worlds were far larger than necessary. Resources, rare metals, fuel, and parts were being taken from Earth under the guise of galactic aid. She calculated the true cost to humanity. Billions of tons of resources had been sent, along with human labor. It was not aid, it was exploitation. Ethan and Lisa decided they had to gather undeniable proof. They secretly copied Council reports, recorded fleet movements, and mapped supply routes. Every piece of evidence painted the same picture. The Council feared human strength and planned to weaken them while appearing friendly. Humans were being deceived on a massive scale. One day, Ethan received a message from an unknown source. It was a warning from a sympathetic alien diplomat. "The Council hides the truth from you," the message said. "Your people are stronger than you know. You are watched but underestimated. Be patient and prepare." Ethan showed the message to Lisa. She nodded, her expression serious. "This confirms it. The Council believes we are naive. They think we will never act." Jack and Amy began coordinating with other fleet commanders secretly. They studied Council ships, weapons, and tactics. They practiced maneuvers in hidden space routes, away from Council sensors. Humans learned quickly. Within months, they could move fleets undetected, bypass shields, and disable weapons systems without causing harm to civilians. Humanity was growing stronger, smarter, and more prepared than the Council realized. On Earth, Ethan spoke quietly with President Oliver Hayes. He explained his findings, but the president hesitated to believe the worst. "We cannot accuse the Council without proof," Oliver said. "We need evidence, not suspicion," Ethan understood. The Council had trained humans to doubt themselves. They had created fear of action. Ethan only nodded and continued gathering proof. Patience was key. Meanwhile, the Council continued their displays of friendship. They sent advanced technology, gifts, and knowledge. Humans studied these gifts carefully, understanding the true capabilities hidden inside. Lisa discovered weaknesses in Council systems. Jack found patterns in Council patrols that could be exploited. Amy calculated logistics to support future fleet movements. Humans prepared quietly, building strength while the Council believed they were obedient. Aliens on Council worlds began to notice human activity. Some laughed at humanity, mocking their careful planning. "Humans are clever but slow," one said. "They will never act against us. They are too proud to see their place." Others were unsure. They watched human fleets and whispered about their sudden efficiency. The Council ignored the whispers, believing their control was absolute. Ethan called a meeting with Lisa, Jack, and Amy in a hidden station on the moon. He spoke with calm determination. "We have waited long enough to see their true nature," he said. "We know their plan. Humans are meant to be pawns. We are treated as tools, shields, and laborers. We have the evidence, we have the skills, now we prepare for action, not yet to attack but to protect humanity from deception. Lisa nodded. We move when the time is right, we cannot rush. The Council believes we are obedient. That is our advantage, Jack added. Our fleets are ready, our crews are trained, our plans are mapped. When we act, they will not see it coming. Amy concluded, and we have the logistics covered. No one will starve, no one will be left behind. Humanity will act as one. Ethan and his team began sending covert messages to trusted officers across human fleets. They explained the Council's deception and asked for patience. Every officer understood the risk. If the Council discovered their plans, humans could be destroyed. Yet every one of them agreed to wait and prepare. The Council had underestimated the most important quality of humanity, patience. Months turned into a year. Human fleets quietly tested new maneuvers. Scientists modified Council gifts into defensive systems. Engineers created hidden bases on remote moons, disguised as research stations or mining operations. Humanity built strength without alerting the Council. Every move was calculated, precise, and secret. Ethan discovered a final piece of proof. Hidden Council archives revealed a plan created long before humans joined the treaty. The Council had decided that humans would never be allowed to dominate or lead. Their strength was feared. Their independence was feared. Humans were to be controlled, weakened, and used. Every mission, every resource transfer, every diplomatic decision had been planned to serve Council interests, not humanity's. Lisa studied the data carefully. This is worse than I imagined, she said. They are not just deceiving us, they are trying to keep us from growing. Every success we think we have is measured against their plan. They are testing us, shaping us, and using us. Ethan nodded. We will turn their plan against them. Every mission, every fleet, every resource will be used to prepare humanity. When the time comes, we will act and they will not see it coming. On a quiet night, Jack stood on the deck of his ship looking at the stars. They think we are small, he said to Amy, who stood beside him. They think we will never act. They think we are naive. But we are patient, we are careful, and we are ready. Amy smiled faintly. We do not strike recklessly, we do not destroy worlds, we act when it matters most. Humanity had learned the truth. The Council had underestimated them at every step. The Council had believed humans would follow orders blindly. They had ignored human observation, intelligence, and resilience. Humanity had waited, watched, and prepared. Every fleet movement, every training exercise, every hidden base had one purpose: to protect humanity and to turn the Council's deception into their own strength. On Earth, life continued as usual. People celebrated galactic cooperation, unaware of the work done in secret. The public believed humans were small allies in a larger galaxy. The Council smiled and praised humanity, unaware that their deception was unraveling. Ethan and his team worked quietly, preparing for the day when the truth would be revealed. The final months of this period were crucial. Human fleets had tested every system, every ship, and every tactic. Scientists had studied Council technology and discovered weaknesses. Engineers had completed hidden bases and supply lines. The team on the moon station gathered one final time. Ethan spoke, his voice calm and firm. We have done everything we can to prepare. We know their plans. We know their weaknesses. We have patience, precision, and proof. Humanity is ready to act when the time comes. The Council believes we are obedient. They are wrong, very wrong. Lisa looked at the stars. They do not see us. They never will until we choose to act. And when we act, every deception, every lie, every betrayal will be revealed. Humanity will deliver truth. Jack nodded. And no one will be harmed unnecessarily. We act to protect, to reveal, to balance. We will not be monsters. We will be humans. Amy concluded. And the galaxy will remember what humanity is capable of when underestimated. The second part ends with humanity standing quietly among the stars, learning, preparing, and waiting. The council believed their plan was perfect. Humans were silent, patient, and strong. The seeds of reckoning had grown, and humanity was ready to turn the tide. The galaxy did not yet know, but soon it would see that humans were no longer obedient pawns. They were the future, and they were ready to claim it on their terms. Humans had waited silently for over a year. Every fleet movement, every base, every hidden project had been prepared in secret. Ethan Brooks and Lisa Moran studied council movements daily. The council still believed humanity was obedient, weak, and naive. They had no idea how carefully humans had learned their patterns, their weaknesses, and their mistakes. Jack Turner led patrols near council borders, but now he noticed small signs of change. Human ships no longer followed predictable paths exactly. Fleets moved slightly off course, tested shields, and recorded every council response. It was subtle, almost invisible, but Jack knew the council would notice soon. Amy Parker had updated supply lines, ready to support fleets anywhere without leaving traces of unusual activity. Humans were ready for controlled, precise action. On Earth, Ethan quietly shared new findings with trusted leaders and officers. "The Council is growing careless," he said. "They believe their control is perfect. They are wrong. We are ready to show our strength, but carefully. We do not act recklessly. We act to protect humanity and reveal truth." Lisa nodded. "Every fleet, every scientist, every engineer knows their role. Patience is still our advantage." The council continued to flaunt their power. Alien diplomats traveled to Earth, giving speeches about unity and cooperation. They displayed holograms of technology and fleets, claiming they were allies and protectors. Humans studied the displays carefully, understanding weaknesses, gaps, and vulnerabilities. Jack noticed council ships using predictable energy patterns. Lisa calculated ways to bypass them. Amy prepared logistics to support fleet operations in ways that the council could not detect. Then came the first subtle move. Human fleets quietly withdrew from a council border sector under the pretense of routine maintenance. The council observed and laughed. "Humans are slow and obedient," one alien officer said. "They retreat even when we are weak. They do not understand strength." Ethan smiled faintly as he watched council communications. "They see what they want to see," he said. "They ignore what is true. That is their mistake." Lisa checked systems and confirmed that fleets were in position to test council defenses. Every patrol had new sensors, every ship had hidden devices, and every crew member knew their role. Humans could move silently and strike precisely without harming civilians. Jack led a small fleet to a sector the council considered secure. Human ships moved in formation, their engines quiet, shields partially cloaked. Council warships detected them briefly but did not react aggressively. The council assumed it was a routine inspection or patrol. Yet Ethan and Lisa monitored every reaction, recording weaknesses and gaps in real time. Humans were learning faster than the council realized. Amy coordinated supply lines for the first full-scale test. Hidden cargo ships carried repair parts, fuel, and technology to meet fleets far from observation. Humans moved as a single organism, silent and precise. Council's sensors picked up movement but could not identify scale or intent. "They underestimate us," Amy said. "They cannot see the system we have built." On a council world, some aliens began to whisper. "These humans are strange," one said. "They move quietly, predictably, yet nothing happens. It is as if they know something we do not." Most laughed. The council ignored them, believing human obedience was absolute. Ethan sent coded messages to fleet commanders. The first stage of action was to disable council systems without violence. Human engineers had designed a way to shut down warships and energy stations silently. Jack and his fleet tested the system in a controlled environment, successfully disabling a test council ship without causing harm. Lisa confirmed that the technique could be applied across the sector. Humans had the ability to strike and control outcomes without destroying life. On Earth, leaders began to realize the depth of council deception. Reports gathered by Ethan, Lisa, and Amy revealed long-term plans to weaken humanity and control resources. The evidence was undeniable. Humanity had been treated as a shield, a labor force, and a tool for council wars. The public remained unaware, but leaders began planning for the future. The council grew careless in other ways. They moved fleets without proper reconnaissance, assuming humans were obedient. They left sectors lightly defended. Council communications became predictable. Humans had memorized every pattern, every signal, and every route. The Council did not realize that these small errors would become the doorway to human action. One night, Jack's fleet entered a sector previously considered safe by the Council. They tested systems to disable energy grids on one Council station. The test was a success. Alarms went off, but no civilians were harmed. The Council scrambled to respond, surprised at the sudden and precise disruption. Humans watched calmly from hidden positions, analyzing responses. Ethan smiled. "They are learning too late," he said. "Their arrogance will be their weakness." Lisa studied data feeds from multiple fleet locations. She realized humans could control council systems across multiple sectors simultaneously. The technology they developed was silent, precise, and effective. Jack and Amy coordinated ships and supply lines. Humans could appear anywhere, strike quickly, and vanish without a trace. The Council was blind to the real threat. On Earth, President Oliver Hayes finally acknowledged the truth. Humans had been deceived and the Council had underestimated them. He convened secret meetings with trusted leaders, fleet commanders, and scientists. "We are ready," he said, "not for war but for justice and protection. Humans must act, but carefully. We have patience, we have strength, and we have unity." Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy prepared for the next stage. Human fleets began moving subtly across Council space. Minor disruptions were reported, small enough to confuse the Council. No civilians were harmed. The Council believed these were accidents or technical failures. Humans used every advantage of stealth, timing, and knowledge. They were silent, careful, and precise. Some aliens began to doubt the Council. They noticed the sudden efficiency of humans and whispered among themselves. "These humans are not as they seem," one said. "They are careful, patient, and skilled. They strike without warning. Perhaps the Council misjudged them." The Council ignored these concerns. They believed humans could not act collectively without orders. Ethan called a meeting in the hidden moon station. "We have tested their defenses," he said. "We know their weaknesses. We have demonstrated our ability to act without harming innocents. The Council is unaware of the scale of our preparation. The galaxy believes we are obedient. That is our strength. We wait, and when the time comes, we will act decisively." Lisa nodded. "Every fleet, every ship, every crew member knows their role. We wait for the perfect moment. Humans will show what we are capable of, but we strike with precision." Jack reviewed maps of Council systems, fleet positions, and patrol schedules. "Their arrogance blinds them," he said. "They do not see us. They do not suspect the network we have built. When we move, they will not know until it is too late." Amy confirmed that logistics were fully prepared. Hidden bases could support any operation. Supplies, repair, and personnel movement were secure. Humans were ready. In Council space, small disruptions grew. Council stations experienced silent energy shutdowns. Minor fleet movements vanished for hours, and communications were intercepted without damage. The Council scrambled, trying to understand the anomalies. They assumed human error or accidents. They did not suspect deliberate preparation. Ethan and Lisa watched every reaction, recording every weakness for the next stage. On Earth, ordinary people remained unaware. Scientists continued research, children played with alien gifts, and media broadcasted cheerful news about galactic cooperation. Humans moved in secret, building strength, knowledge, and precision. Patience remained their greatest weapon. The Council believed humans were obedient and weak. They had never been more wrong. The final weeks of this period were tense but controlled. Human fleets coordinated perfectly across multiple sectors. Small tests confirmed capabilities to disable Council systems silently and control outcomes precisely. Fleet commanders communicated secretly, ensuring every action was synchronized. Humans were ready to take the next step. Ethan gathered his team one last time before the final preparation. "The Council believes they control everything," he said. "They do not see us. They do not understand our patience, our intelligence, and our unity. When we act, it will be precise, careful, and without unnecessary destruction. Humans are ready to show what we can do. They will see truth and strength together." Lisa, Jack, and Amy nodded. They had worked silently for months, waiting, preparing, and learning. The Council had underestimated humanity at every step. The third part ends with humans standing silently among the stars. The Council believed their control was absolute. Humans were patient, precise, and ready. The next stage of action was near. The galaxy had yet to see the true capability of humanity. The seeds of reckoning were ready to bloom, and humanity's silent strength was about to be revealed. The moment had come. Humans were ready. Years of preparation, silent observation, and careful learning had built a force the Council could not ignore. Ethan Brooks, Lisa Morin, Jack Turner, and Amy Parker gathered in the hidden moon station. Every fleet, every hidden base, every engineer and scientist was in place. Humans would act, but with precision, care, and purpose. They would deliver the reckoning, not as conquerors, but as protectors, and as a reminder of what humanity could achieve when underestimated. Jack led the first wave of fleets toward Council space. The ships moved silently, using cloaking technology and hidden routes learned over months. Energy systems and shields were optimized for precision strikes. Every maneuver had been practiced countless times. No ship would be lost unnecessarily. The fleets moved as one, careful and deliberate like a single organism. Ethan sent a calm, coded message to the Council. It was short, simple, and clear. "We know the truth. Your deception ends today. Humanity acts now to restore balance and justice." The message arrived on thousands of Council channels. Alarms rang across Council worlds, but no fleet fired back immediately. They did not yet understand what was happening. Lisa monitored the fleets as they reached key Council stations. The first target was a major energy hub supplying Council warships and defenses. Human engineers remotely disabled the energy systems. The shutdown was silent, precise, and complete. Alarms went off, but no civilians were harmed. Council commanders scrambled to respond, but ships were powerless without energy. Humans watched from hidden positions, recording every reaction. The Council had never prepared for such a precise, controlled action. Jack moved the fleet to intercept Council warships. The ships were immobilized by precise disruptions to their power systems. Council officers realized something was wrong, but every attempt to counter human action failed. Human crews moved with efficiency and calm. They disabled weapons, shields, and communications without destroying life. The Council had underestimated humanity's intelligence, patience, and skill. On Council worlds, aliens began to panic. Some realized that humans were not attacking recklessly. They were controlling the situation with precision. Civilian areas remained safe. Resources were intact. Enslaved workers and oppressed species were being freed. The Council had lost control, and chaos spread among their leadership. Amy coordinated supply lines to support the fleets. Hidden cargo ships delivered fuel, repair parts, and medical supplies to every fleet in real time. Humans were unstoppable because every operation had been planned and executed with perfect logistics. The Council had no idea how human networks worked. They had assumed control of supply and power would prevent rebellion. They had been wrong. Ethan addressed the Council again, this time through holographic communication visible across multiple worlds. His message was calm but firm. Your lies, deception, and exploitation end today. Humanity does not seek conquest, but we do demand justice. Every plan you made to weaken us has been exposed. Every act of deception has been recorded. The galaxy will see the truth. Council leaders were stunned. Their control over communications, fleets, and influence had failed in hours. Lisa coordinated the next phase. Hidden fleets disabled major council communications and sensor networks. Alien patrols could not see human movements. Fleets moved with precision from one sector to another, freeing workers, repairing minor damage, and securing key systems. Humans proved they were capable of strategy and care simultaneously. On a council world, alien populations began to turn against their rulers. They witnessed humans acting not as conquerors, but as protectors. They saw enslaved workers freed, systems restored, and civilian life preserved. Whispers of admiration spread. Some council officers realized they had been wrong about humanity. Humans were not violent, chaotic, or reckless. They were precise, intelligent, and principled. Jack led a fleet toward the Council's central command station. Energy grids were disabled silently, communications cut, and defensive weapons deactivated. Human ships appeared around the station, but did not fire. The Council realized too late that they were surrounded. Every leader, officer, and diplomat was trapped without harm. Humans had anticipated every move. Ethan spoke to the Council, voice calm and measured. Your time of deception is over. Your greed, your fear, and your lies have failed. Humanity has prepared for this moment for years. You believed we were weak, obedient, and naive. You were wrong. Every action you took against us has prepared us to act today. Council leaders stammered, trying to regain control, but every attempt failed. The systems humans controlled were silent, precise, and unyielding. Lisa coordinated relief efforts simultaneously. Supplies, medical aid, and support reached council populations. Humans proved that their actions were not meant to harm innocents. Every strike was carefully calculated. The galaxy began to understand the difference between human strength and human cruelty. Humanity's patience and intelligence became clear. Amy monitored logistics across multiple sectors. Every fleet, every cargo, and every repair crew was in position. Nothing was left to chance. Human operations were precise, controlled, and ethical. The Council could only watch, powerless to act. Every misstep they had ever made, every underestimated human move had led to this moment. On Earth, citizens watched the calm reports from fleets. News agencies described mysterious disruptions in Council space, freeing oppressed populations and disabling weapons systems. Humanity's role was praised, but the full scale remained secret. Leaders understood the enormity of what had happened. Humanity had struck without violence, had controlled chaos, and had delivered justice. In council halls, fear spread. Leaders realized humans were no longer naive or obedient. They had underestimated patience, intelligence, and unity. Council fleets were immobilized, communications disabled, and resources controlled. Aliens began questioning their rulers. Humans had proven that their strength was not only physical, but strategic, precise, and moral. Jack stood on his fleet's command deck looking at immobilized council ships. They thought they could control us, he said to Lisa and Amy. They thought obedience would keep us small. We have proven them wrong. Lisa smiled faintly. We acted with precision. We avoided unnecessary harm. Humanity is stronger because we think before we act, Amy added, and the galaxy sees that we can protect, not just fight. That is our greatest strength. Ethan addressed the council one final time. Your control has ended. Your deception has failed. The galaxy will remember today. Humanity acts with purpose, intelligence, and care. You are no longer rulers. You are witnesses to truth. Council leaders fell silent. Every system they had relied on was disabled. Every fleet was under human observation. The galaxy had shifted. Humans had delivered reckoning. On council worlds, civilians celebrated the arrival of humans who freed them from fear and oppression. Enslaved workers, scientists, and families were protected. Humans proved that strength was not only measured by weapons, but by intelligence, ethics, and patience. The Council had underestimated every quality that made humanity unique. In hidden stations, Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy coordinated final actions. Fleets returned to orbiting positions, ensuring that all Council systems were stabilized. Human technology repaired minor damages, freed oppressed populations, and restored peace. Humans were not conquerors. They were protectors and the enforcers of truth. By the end of the operation, the Council was broken as a ruling entity. Leaders had no control, systems were under human observation, and aliens questioned their authority. The galaxy had seen that humans could act decisively, precisely, and morally. Humanity had delivered reckoning without unnecessary destruction, proving the difference between patience and impulsive aggression. Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy returned to the moon station for a final review. "We have shown what humanity is capable of," Ethan said. "The Council believed they controlled us, but they were wrong. The galaxy has seen strength combined with care, patience, and intelligence." Lisa nodded. "We prepared for this moment for years. Our patience has paid off." Jack added, "We acted precisely. No civilians harmed. No unnecessary destruction. That is our way," Amy concluded, "and the galaxy will remember. Humanity is patient, intelligent, and just." The fourth part ends with humanity having delivered the reckoning. The Council had been exposed, systems were under human control, and aliens across the galaxy had witnessed human strength, patience, and intelligence. Humans had acted not as conquerors, but as protectors, showing that their true power lay in careful planning, moral choice, and unity. The stage was set for a new chapter in galactic history. The galaxy was quiet after the reckoning. Humans had acted with precision, intelligence, and care. Council leaders were captured, their fleets immobilized, and systems under human control. Aliens across many worlds began to whisper about humanity's strength, patience, and morality. Humans had not destroyed, yet they had shown power. They had not ruled, yet they had delivered justice. Ethan Brooks looked at the stars from the hidden moon station. Years of observation, planning, and preparation had led to this moment. "We have shown them what humans can do," he said quietly to Lisa Morin, who stood beside him. Lisa nodded. "We proved that intelligence, patience, and care are as strong as any weapon. The Council never understood that." Jack Turner prepared fleets to return to Earth. Ships moved carefully, systems repaired and stabilized. Amy Parker coordinated logistics to ensure that humans could safely leave Council space without leaving chaos behind. Every fleet, every station, every hidden base had completed its role. Humans had acted not as conquerors but as protectors. On Council worlds, aliens were slowly regaining their daily lives. Enslaved workers were free, cities stabilized, systems repaired. Humans had proven that strength did not need to come with destruction. Alien populations began to see humanity not as a threat but as a force of fairness. Whispers spread from world to world. Humans could act decisively, yet morally. Humans were patient, precise, and intelligent. Ethan addressed the Council leaders. "Your deception is over," he said. "You have been exposed. Every plan you made to weaken humanity has failed. The galaxy has seen your lies. We will not destroy you, but you will face justice for the harm you caused." Let this be a lesson that underestimating humanity is dangerous. Council leaders had no power to respond. Every system they relied on was controlled by humans. They realized too late that humanity's patience and intelligence were unmatched. Back on Earth, President Oliver Hayes called a meeting with trusted leaders. "Humanity has acted wisely," he said. "We have delivered justice without destruction. Our fleets have proven our strength. Our people have proven our patience and intelligence. Now we must plan for the future." Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy were present. They discussed rebuilding relations with alien populations, creating safeguards to prevent deception, and ensuring that humans would never be underestimated again. Humans decided not to take leadership positions in the galaxy. They wanted fairness, not control. They helped alien races establish councils that were transparent and just. They created rules that protected weaker civilizations and ensured no species could be exploited. Humans had learned from the Council's deception and did not wish to repeat their mistakes. Instead, they acted as protectors and guides, helping the galaxy avoid the tyranny of secrecy and fear. Lisa coordinated exploration missions. Humans traveled to new sectors, not to conquer, but to offer knowledge and protection. Scientists studied alien worlds, sharing discoveries and technology carefully. Fleets remained ready but always acted in defense, not aggression. Humanity's reputation spread quickly. Aliens told stories of humans who acted with strength, intelligence, and ethics. They spoke of patience, careful planning, and moral choice. Humans had changed the perception of power in the galaxy. Jack returned to Earth and shared his experiences with new fleet recruits. "We act with precision," he said. "We do not strike recklessly. We protect life and uphold truth. Humans are patient, intelligent, and strong. Remember that. We do not need to prove ourselves with destruction. Our strength is in how we act, not what we destroy." Amy added, "Every mission we take will follow the same principle: preparation, precision, and care. The galaxy has seen what humans can do. Now we must maintain that reputation." Ethan and Lisa continued their diplomatic work. They visited alien worlds, showing that humans could be trusted allies. They explained the Council's deception and how humans had acted to restore balance. Aliens began to trust humans as protectors and enforcers of fairness, not rulers. Humanity's patience and intelligence became known throughout the galaxy. On Council worlds, surviving leaders faced trials. Humans oversaw the process but allowed alien populations to decide their fate. Justice was fair, not violent. Systems that had been used for deception and oppression were dismantled. Council fleets were returned to civilian control. Humans proved that strength and morality could coexist. The galaxy learned that power without care was weak, but power combined with intelligence and ethics was formidable. Ethan spoke to the galaxy through communication channels. "Humanity has acted not as conquerors, but as protectors," he said. "We have shown that patience, intelligence, and careful action are stronger than fear, deception, and aggression. The Council's lies are exposed, and the galaxy now has a choice: act with morality and care, or risk the consequences of deception." Aliens listened and learned. Humans had not destroyed. Humans had not ruled. Yet humans had changed the course of galactic history. Back on Earth, ordinary citizens celebrated the return of fleets and heroes. People did not fully understand the scale of what had happened, but they felt pride. Humanity had faced a galaxy of deception and emerged not only victorious but moral. Children played with stories of fleets moving silently, freeing oppressed worlds, and delivering justice without destruction. Humanity's patience, intelligence, and ethics became part of culture and history. Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy met one final time to reflect. "We have shown them," Ethan said. "The Council believed they controlled everything. They were wrong. The galaxy has seen human strength combined with care." Lisa smiled. "We acted with patience. We acted with intelligence. We acted morally. That is our true power, Jack nodded. We acted precisely. No lives harmed unnecessarily. That is the lesson for the galaxy, Amy concluded, and humanity will not forget. Patience, intelligence, and careful action are our greatest weapons and our greatest honor. As years passed, humans continued to travel, explore, and protect. They shared knowledge, offered aid, and prevented deception and oppression wherever they could. Aliens told stories of humanity's reckoning, teaching future generations the value of patience, intelligence, and moral action. Humans had changed the galaxy, not by conquest, but by careful, deliberate, and ethical demonstration of power. The galaxy remembered the lesson. The Council had deceived humanity, believing they could control and weaken them. Humans had waited, prepared, and acted with precision and care. The deception ended, but the galaxy gained a new understanding of what humanity represented. Strength combined with morality, patience combined with intelligence. Humans had proven that being underestimated was not weakness, but an opportunity. Ethan, Lisa, Jack, and Amy returned to Earth and watched the stars. Humanity had secured its place in the galaxy not through fear or violence, but through planning, patience, and ethical strength. "We have done what was necessary," Ethan said. Lisa nodded. "We acted as humans should, with intelligence, patience, and morality." Jack smiled. "The galaxy will remember. Humans are strong, precise, and careful," Amy concluded, "and humanity will continue to act as protectors, never deceived, never underestimated, and always prepared." The story ends with humanity standing among the stars, respected, feared in the right way, and admired for their patience, intelligence, and moral strength. The Council's deception was exposed, the galaxy was free from lies, and humans had delivered the ultimate reckoning without unnecessary destruction. The galaxy now understood the true nature of humanity: silent, patient, intelligent, and always ready to act with justice and care.